Hey guys, here we go. This is our review video. Again, this is the optional one. You have the choice of either watching this review video or watching that little bonus topic. Either way, you got to turn something into me. At the end of the period, pick your favorite, pick your poison. Let's do it. If you notice this very first question here, pretty easy one just to start us off. It is review since the beginning of the year. It ramps up a little bit, but I'm not including those parent functions because we've been doing those so much the last 2-3 weeks. I figured you guys wanted a break from that anyways, even if we are reviewing it. So we have negative 8v plus 6 minus 4 is going to be plus 2 equals negative 22 because we are adding those like terms. Then we need to use a reverse PEMDAS to solve. Subtract 2 on both sides. It's negative 8v equals negative 24. And divide both sides by negative 8. And we'll get a nice v equals 3. Not too bad for that first problem. I'm not going to take too many breaks like the one I'm doing right this second in between questions. I want to get through this right away, making sure that you're done watching as fast as possible if you're watching every single one. Remember that you can also be doing these problems on your own and skipping the ones you don't need me to show you how to do. So just think about that. Um, negative, because really the reason why you want to think about that is doing problems on your own can be more helpful towards your memory. So here we go. Negative n minus 10, nothing changes. Here we got to use our distributive property. I don't even know why I drew the arrows. You guys don't need to see those arrows, but I don't know. Maybe you like them. So there we go. After that, we're going to use that horizontal idea. Move the 14 there to the other side, move that negative 10 to the other side, make it positive, gives us negative 15n equals 0. Divide both sides by negative 15, and we'll get n equal to 0. Knocking them out. Keep on moving. Keep on moving. Here we go. Again, if you already needed to see that one, you can rewind and go back to look at it one more time. But you should be trying these on your own a little bit, not just copying. Here we go. So negative 4. I don't have to draw these arrows. Negative 16m. I just did the Algebra 1 video, so I think that's why I'm drawing all these arrows. 8m plus 12 plus 8m equals 5. And now we have to add like terms. Negative 16m plus 8m plus 8m is 0m. Think about that in a second. And then we got 28 and 12 is 40 equals 5. 0m is 0, so we don't have to write it. We have 40 equal to 5, question mark. Whenever you end up in a situation where you have one number is equal to a number that's not supposed to, so 40 does not equal 5 in this case, answer is no solution. Done with the question. If you want to write no solution or NRS instead, you can, but 0 with a slash through, it's totally fine. Solving absolute value questions, I did put 3 of them here as a reminder how to do it. You want to split that guy into 2. So 1 minus 10x equals 21. That's the copied side. And then the other side, we're making it negative on the right. Got to go ahead and subtract 1 on both sides here. Gives us negative 10x equals 20. Divide both sides by negative 10. And x equals negative 2. We have to solve this one too, as well, though. Subtract 1 on both sides. Negative 10x equals negative 22. Divide both sides by negative 10. Use that calculator to do that division for yourself, and you will get a positive 2.2. Please note you could have also written it in fraction form there. What would that have been? 22 over 10 would have been 11 over 5. Yeah. Okay. Continuing on over here onto number 5 here. We need to add 3 to both sides to start. And we're going to get 6 minus 5p is equal to negative 44. And you're done with the question, no real solution. Remember, you can never have an absolute value equal to a negative number. If that occurs, you're done with the problem. There's no thinking involved. You just write the answer. Boom, finished. Number 6. This one I just kind of threw in there as a reminder that you can have the absolute values just kind of alone like that. So subtract 2 on both sides, we'll get 9. Absolute value of n is equal to 72. Divide both sides by 9. Absolute value of n is equal to 8, and therefore n is equal to both positive 8 and negative 8. And that's all we have to do. All right, so we have done 5 minutes, already done 6 questions. We're doing a great pace here. Hopefully you're still following along or trying those questions on your own like you're supposed to be. You know, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Continuing on here, let's solve each inequality and graph its solution. So let's add like terms to start. Negative 15 is less than 4a plus 1. Again, I just added like terms. Negative 3 plus 4 is that positive 1. 4a and 15 stay the same. Subtract 1 on both sides. We'll get negative 16 less than 4a. Divide both sides by 4. And you'll end up at negative 4 is less than a. It is a good recommendation from me that you want the variable on the left-hand side. So if the alligator was eating the a beforehand, it continues to eat that alligator afterwards. So a is greater than negative 4. Making the graph up, put negative 4 down in the middle, a number on the right, a number on the left. Open circle because it doesn't have that little underline, and your arrow is pointing to the right. You're going off to the right. Beautiful graph. Easy peasy. Number 8. This one has variables on both sides. I recommend using that horizontal method when you're solving it. That negative 7v, copy it, add the 7v over here, less than, and here we got 15, and that positive 7 becomes a negative 7 on the right. So you get 0v, which is just 0, is less than 8. So unlike problem number 3 up here, where we had a false statement, 40 is not equal to 5, on this problem, we have ended up with a true statement. 0 is less than 8. Because that is a true statement, the correct answer to this problem is all real numbers. Are right there, all real numbers. And I just realized in the question it says interval notation, so I didn't get full credit on this one. I gotta go back and do it. Interval notation for all real numbers is negative infinity to infinity. I think, again, I was messed up for my Algebra 1, because my Algebra 1 students only had to do the graph. We haven't done interval notation yet. I have excuses. Those are my excuses. The interval notation, we start on the furthest left number we're allowed to be, which is this negative 4. You do a parentheses because it is an open circle. Then you continue on to the far right, which gives us infinity as our answer. All right. Always a parenthesis on infinities, by the way, because you can't reach it. First 8 problems out of the way. Continuing on. We only have 2 pages here. Or if you have a fancy printer, I guess the front and back. Mine doesn't do that. So here we go. Number 9. Solve each compound inequality and write your answer in set builder notation. So set builder is the one with the fancy brackets. And here we go. Or is pointing apart from each other. Yeah, let's do it. Divide both sides by 4 to start. N is less than negative 6, or divide both sides by 4 here. You got n greater than or equal to negative 2. I asked to graph its solution. Here's my negative 6. There's my negative 2. Some students in the other class were asking before, why am I not flipping the direction of these signs? And that's because I'm dividing by a positive number. If you divide by a positive, you do not flip the sign. You only flip the sign when you divide by a negative. So we have negative 6 on the left, negative 2 on the right. Include a number in the middle for me. Negative 4 is in between those two guys. Open circle here, filled in circle here. Pointing to the left. Again, it goes apart because it's or. Double check though. Pointing to the left, pointing to the right. Okay. The set builder notation. N is an element of the real numbers such that they all start the same variable element of the real numbers such that with a cute little brace. And you just copy that. N less than negative 6 or n greater than or equal to negative 2. There's your fancy set builder notation. Number 10, this problem's put here as a reminder that you can solve these, especially when there's not x's at the edges. We can just solve by subtracting or adding to all three sections of the graph at the same time. 40 minus 8 is 32, less than 8x, less than 40. Divide everything by 8 now. And you get 4 is less than x is less than 5. These are the easiest in the world to graph because you just put the 4 and the 5 down. There isn't a number that goes well in between the two, so maybe put a number on the outside like a 6. And then they're so easy to graph because they just come together. Putting it into step builder notation, same idea. X is an element of the reals this time, such that we have, copy that, 4 less than x less than 5. Cute little brace. Oof. All right. Number 11. Solve each inequality, graph its solution. Here we go. So these take a little bit more time. They are absolute value. I did not give myself enough room here, so I'm going to have to like zoom in and write small. Here we go. Zooming in and writing small. We are going to go ahead and start by subtracting 10 on both sides. Remember, you should be trying these on your own first. I shouldn't do all the work for you. 6 absolute value, 5x minus 5 greater than or equal to 90. Divide both sides by 6. I'm not going to show that division by 6 because I don't have enough room to solve this problem because I didn't put enough room on the paper. I might have to put the other ones on a separate sheet of paper or something. I don't know. Dividing both sides by 6 gives you 15. Split this problem into 2. Please note, there's because I haven't not enough room, I'm gonna do a cutesy little trick. It's always good to add little extra tricks when you're doing these reviews. I'm noticing in the problem that every single number is divisible by 5. So I'm just gonna divide all those problems by 5 right away. If I divide every single guy by 5, I'll end up with x minus 1 is greater than or equal to 3. And I can do that before I split the question up, and now I have this cute little problem that's so small. X minus 1 is greater than or equal to 3. X minus 1 is less than or equal to negative 3. We flip the direction of the sign because we made that side negative. Rewriting more of this up here, adding 1 to both sides gives us x is greater than or equal to 4. The greater than alligator is eating the absolute value, so the word or shows up. And it's x less than or equal to negative 2. If you add 1 to both sides over here, there you go, I'm missing my paper. And it says to write your answer in interval notation. The easiest way to do interval notation is to draw the graph first. Because the graph is not part of the answer, you can be a little bit more lazy with it than normal. So there's our negative 2, there's our 4, filled in circle going that way, filled in circle going that way. Negative infinity, comma, negative 2, bracket, union, bracket, 4, comma, infinity. Done. Let's see, I don't even know if I'm going to have enough room here for number 12. Actually, I know I'll have enough room for number 12. Let's talk about why really, really quick. So for number 12 here, first step, don't forget here, just like on this question where you had to subtract 10 on both sides, this problem here, this is multiplication, so you need to subtract 8 on both sides. Don't by mistake do 8 minus 5 first. That would be a disaster. You got negative 5, absolute value, a minus 6, and absolute value less than positive 5. Divide both sides by negative 5 here. When you divide both sides by a negative number, flip the direction of that sign. Split the direction of the sign, you get negative 1. At this point in time, you have an absolute value is greater than a negative number, which is always true. Correct answer is all real numbers. To write all real numbers in interval notation up here is from negative infinity, comma, infinity. Keep it up. Number 13 here, same process. Subtract 2 on both sides. We got a absolute value 7 minus 8m and absolute value less than or equal to negative 72. Divide both sides by 8. When you divide both sides by 8 there, you do not flip the direction of the sign because you divided by a positive number. And this time I have an absolute value is less than or equal to, I suppose, is less than or equal to a negative number, which cannot happen. So my answer is the empty set. There is no interval notation to write. So you just write empty set and you're done. Boom. 14, this one actually does have answers, so I do actually have to do it. I'm also like hurting my back. I'm gonna like pull the paper and the camera towards me. I don't know why I didn't do that earlier. Probably would have felt better this entire last like 2 hours. Ugh, I'm just not thinking sometimes. Here we go. Let's add 6 to both sides to start. We're going to less than or equal to 72, a absolute value, -9 minus 7x, and absolute value. Divide both sides by 8. If you divide both sides by 8, you'll get -9 minus 7x is less than or equal to +9. Now I actually have a problem I have to solve. Split it into two separate questions. -9 minus 7x less than or equal to 9. -9 minus 7x greater than or equal to -9. Don't forget to flip the direction of that sign when you make the right side negative. We could put the word and in between because the alligator's eating the number, not the absolute value. Solving like normal, add 9 to both sides. It's going to give us -7x less than or equal to 18. Divide both sides by -7. Flip the direction of the sign again. We are flipping, so greater than or equal to -18 over 7, which we can calculate out. I have not calculated it out. It's like -2.42 or something, but I forgot the third decimal digit, and I always ask for 3 decimals, so I'll just put it into Google here. 2. Oh, I'm not even close. Oh my gosh, too late at night. 2.571. Good thing I checked, right? There you go, -2.571. All right, solving this guy here, add 9 to both sides. You end up getting 0. So -7x greater than or equal to 0. Divide both sides by -7. Flip the direction of the sign, you get less than 0. So you have and situation. Anytime you have an and situation, they come together. So here we go for the and problems. We got the 0 down here. We have the negative 18 over 7, which is between -2 and 3. So -3 and -2. Filled in circle, comes together. Final answer is this -2.571, comma 0. Oof. 4 more questions, guys. 4 more questions. Knock them out. Get them done. Not too painful. Hopefully, it's only been 18 minutes, so just I'm just getting tired, I suppose. That's my whining, me complaining over here. We have w of -5 to do. This is a function problem, and because we've been doing functions and parent functions, here's the reminder of doing the first types of problems that we did. So the -5 is going to be plugged into the x there. W of -5 equals 3 times -5 plus 2. 3 times -5 is -15. Add the 2, you get -13. There you go. Always a good idea. We can think about from before. That's our input, that's our output. Number 16 here, plug in the 6. K of 6 equals 4 times 6 minus 1. That's 24 minus 1. That's 23. Number 17 here. This one can be a little bit more confusing because you're replacing the entirety. This is f of n minus 4. That n is becoming an n minus 4. So this n is becoming an n minus 4. Distribute 3n minus 12 plus 5. Final answer, 3n minus 7. Last problem of the day, find w of y minus 3. That n becomes a y minus 3, which means that this n becomes a y minus 3 plus the 5. You got 2y minus 6 plus the 5, and you get 2y minus 1. All done, guys. If you watched the whole video and did it that fast, it finished in 20 minutes. Hopefully, you did the problems on your own, like I was asking before. But if you didn't, I suppose it's okay. You were supposed to spend 45 minutes on this. Don't know how long you actually spent, but you just tell me it was 45 minutes so that I feel better about myself. Have a great rest of your day. If I don't see you, have a wonderful weekend. And if you do want to do more math, you end up getting bored, you have that bonus math video you can go watch as well. Have a good one, guys. Peace.